And now for your weekly dose of metal. Here are your hosts, Morgan Danielle and Luco Blaze on the Metal Experience.
Good evening. We are the Metal Experience, and this is a brand new episode, once again, broadcasting from Fitz's Spirit Keys in Elmhurst.
Woo-hoo.
And it's decorated for Halloween, all fancy and stuff with aliens and ghouls and all that awesome
and the Beatles
stuff. And Beatles, you know, that's super metal, not. But anyway, we are here with some out-of-towners. Yes!
Out-of-towners.
So
Why don't you go ahead and
exciting.
introduce everyone that's here today?
From Indiana.
Well, I mean, like us, too.
Oh, I'm not from Indiana. I'm Morgan Danielle from Elmhurst, Illinois.
Oh, I'm also Morgan Danielle from Elmhurst, Illinois. No, I'm Luco Blaze. And you know what? Recently, someone asked me, Blaze is my middle name, just so everyone knows. People are like, oh, I thought that was just a stage name. I'm like, no, that would be lame of me. Like, because I smoke a lot of marijuana. Or no, that's my middle name. And we got Greg rocking the soundboard tonight.
Eating
Eating tacos like, a guy eating tacos.
They're pretty good.
Perfect.
All right.
And all
now,
the way from the mean streets
go.
of Indiana.
I'm Chucho from Valparaiso.
Fucking Chucho. That's sweet.
Chucho!
I'm Martin. I am from Griffith, Indiana.
Nice.
And now, who else are we missing tonight?
Tonight we're missing our singer, and she's from Illinois. What city exactly?
I think she lives in Carroll Stream now, but she's...
What? That's right down the street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just, isn't she from like North Carolina or something like that?
I don't know. She's
She's a Southerner.
Yeah,
Or
we don't-
Alabama. That's it.
You guys don't even know who she is.
No, it's Georgia.
It's not Georgia.
Wow.
It's definitely
These
Georgia.
are
All
in
right.
total opposite directions of each other.
Whatever.
These are your bandmates. You don't even know who they are?
Hey, look, it's a business relationship.
Come in and make the doughs, the cashes.
And then we go. Then we've got Paul, who's from Valparaiso, like me.
You didn't even say your
He's the
lead
drummer.
singer's name.
Oh, Mary Flo.
Mary
Mary
Flo.
Flo.
Yeah.
Is that her actual name?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not like some weird urban,
Sick
urban appropriation type.
It's not
deal.
her
sick
stage name.
woman thing that women do.
No, yeah. It's
What?
All right.
Why would you even say that?
You know.
Yeah, thanks. That's what I wanted.
Sorry.
Nice. But this is Farwatch.
I didn't mean that.
Farwatch is the name of the band that's on with us tonight. So,
So then-
thank you guys so much for coming
We're also
out.
missing one more
Oh,
member.
there's
Oh.
one more member
We
in
just recently
Farwatch.
acquired a keyboardist.
What?
Yeah.
Nice.
Daniel Gears, and he's from Lafayette.
His last name is
Lafayette?
Gears.
Yeah.
Danny Gears.
Yep.
That's awesome. You guys got some cool names. I like
Well,
it.
thank you guys for driving all the
Thank
way
you.
out here
Yes.
to the suburbs, surrounding Chicago. How long did it take you guys to get out here?
An hour.
Hour?
It,
Was
took,
it-
it took you an hour.
Was it tough finding the
Okay.
place?
It wasn't too bad.
Nah, not
All right,
really.
perfect.
It took
Perfect.
me like 2 hours probably.
2 hours to get out here?
Because I drove to his house, and then we kind of messed around for a little bit, and then we drove. So
Thank you so much for coming out, guys. I know that's a fucking haul on a Tuesday. You probably got work in the morning, so.
we're used to it because our drummer lives in Indianapolis.
What?
So we make like longer trips.
Yeah, we pretty
regularly.
much all live at least 40 minutes away from each other.
That's
Yeah.
Oh,
insane.
man. That's
Yeah.
dedication.
Well, tell us then if you guys have some distance between you all, how you guys all met, and how does band practice usually work for you guys?
How did the band form?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, Chucho, you want to
I'll start it off, and then you can pick it up. So I was originally in a prog band called Voltress that played around the area for a while. And at the time, we had just released our debut CD. Stuff wasn't necessarily working out, and the band started kind of, coming apart a little bit, and our guitarist quit. So I knew Martin because Voltress and Testimony, which is Martin's old band,
Testimony.
played a lot of shows together. So we were, we knew each other, and I was like, well, Martin's like a really good guitarist, so let me hit him up. So I called you, and I was like, hey, how would you feel about it, trying out for Voltress? And then, Martin was like, oh yeah, I'm totally down. So I jammed with him, and then we kind of worked on some stuff, and then I got him to jam with me and the drummer Paul, and that went really
Then,
well.
Anthony was there too.
Oh yeah, and then Anthony was.
It was
there
like a
too.
full thing.
Yeah, that was like a full thing, and we're like, oh wow, and he had learned like probably like half the album in like a week or something.
Wow.
It was.
I wanted the gig.
I'm pretty sure he just like sat in his basement and just like learned that CD for like the whole week.
That's
because,
awesome.
He wanted the gig.
Yeah, I didn't think he would have like any of it down, and like, if you listen to Vulturous, not to like toot our own horn or anything, but like Jordan's a pretty good guitarist, so it's a pretty difficult task to learn those parts by ear.
Wait, you learned it all by ear?
Yeah, I did. Well, you got to
Jeez.
understand, I'd been listening to Vulturous for like 3 years at the time, something like that. So I knew all the songs already. It was just like a matter of sitting down and like learning them on guitar.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So then, so anyways, we're jamming, and then stuff wasn't working out with that. Anthony decided that he wanted to pursue filmmaking in Lafayette, so he went to college there, which we're still in touch with him. So, anyways, so I was kind of like down, when your band breaks up, that you've been in for like 3 years.
Oh.
It's because you're in a kind of a down state, and then
You cried a little bit.
I did not cry a little bit.
I cried 0 bits.
Will you cry tonight?
A single tear.
One single tear.
Yeah,
Can
a
we
single
get you to
tear.
shed one tear tonight?
Oh my goodness.
On air.
And then that's when Martin hit me up, and he was like, "Dude, we were working on this stuff. Like, it's awesome." He pretty much like gave me an inspirational speech, and I was like, "All right."
Oh.
I was like, we've spent all this time working on this material. Why let it go to waste? We should do something. We should hit up Paul and see if he wants to do something new.
Right.
And then drop down and give me 20.
Yeah. It was, I was like, "All right, cool. I got you. I got you, coach. Put me in." And so we started doing that, and we were working with Paul, and Paul was like kind of in a slump too. And so, getting him to practice, it was kind of like, "Oh, come on, man, just like, let's get together." And once we started picking up some speed, then we started, really looking for members. That's when we started talking about like, what do we kind of want this new project to do? So I kind of wanted to have a female vocalist. I wanted to do something similar to Vulturous, like a prog metal kind of band with a female vocalist, for something like a fresh take, But I didn't actually think that would happen,
Yeah, I remember talking about that with you, like when we were like first doing this. I'm like, there's no way we're gonna find a female vocalist. Like, we don't even know any vocalists.
Yeah.
And then, like, lo and behold,
yeah, the stars aligned. Why don't you tell us for it?
Did Vulturous also have a female vocalist?
No.
Okay.
We had Anthony. He played keyboards, and he was male.
Okay. And he was a male. Perfect.
yeah. So the story about how we got Mary in the band. Basically, she had tried out for another friend's band of ours called Monolith. Not sure, like.
Know who Monolith is too.
Yeah. Cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, me and Chucho are really good friends with Ben Rose, the bass player.
Ben.
Ben's awesome.
I know Ben.
Yeah.
I think everybody knows Ben.
Sorry, that's
He
just
gets around,
Yeah.
if
Oh,
you
yeah,
know
it's
what I
around.
mean.
But anyway, they were looking for a vocalist at the time, and they tried her out, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out. So I told Ben, because he had showed me like some demos of stuff they'd been working on. So I was like, "Dude, Ben, if she doesn't work out, you need to send her our way because she's really good."
Was she in Indiana at the time, or was she commuting from Illinois to come?
Yeah, she was
out?
still commuting
Okay.
from Illinois.
That's a haul, man.
Yeah, and we were worried about that at first. So I asked her, I'm like, "Is this like commute going to be too much?" And she's like, "No, music's pretty cool. I think."
Yeah. We were practicing in
Okay.
Valpo too at the time.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's just one of those things that if it's something that you love doing, if you're working with people that you like to work with, it just is something that you're willing to do. I mean, just think, if all that drive that you have, how much metal you can listen to there and on the way home.
Yeah.
How much metal?
How much practice you can do in your
Greg
car.
threw up the horns as he drinks
sorry.
his Coca-Cola. Sorry.
But I mean, yeah, that's the thing though. Like when you find somebody that you really gel with, like it's really rare. So, you got to have like that push to like, I go out to his house like for a time. I was going out 3 times a week, and he lives roughly about 30, 40 minutes away from me. And I did that for like about 2 years.
Whew.
So
That's a commute.
it is, and there were definitely times where I was like, wow, I really hate driving this road.
Martin, you're lucky he loves you.
All of these drivers are assholes, and I wish I had a cannon on my car.
Or a helicopter that would come out and you can just fly
How
over.
that'd
about
be
teleportation? When is this going to happen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Come
would
on.
be ideal.
That's my number one like hope for the future is teleportation, specifically
We should all
For band
invent it.
practice.
for band practice. That's true.
Perfect.
Anyways, you want to continue?
Well, that's about all there is to it. We like, she came to practice. We jammed with her a couple times. We were like, "This is really cool," and she's still playing with us. So
Actually, when we tried her out, we tried her out on a Voltress song.
that's right. Forgot about that.
And so we tried her out on one of the Voltress songs, and then we tried her out on an original song that we'd been working on.
Which actually was "Water Turns the Wheel," the single.
Yeah,
Nice.
which is the single that we're coming up with. So I actually I didn't really like her tryout for the Vulture stuff. I mean, you know, a female vocalist trying to do a male vocalist part, it just like it didn't come off right, and I was like, but then, you know, she's like, oh, I wrote some lyrics, you know, some melodies for the stuff that you guys sent me, the original thing, which was kind of an afterthought for us.
Mm-hmm.
And she started, you know, singing that, and you know, we listened back to that, and I was like, this is awesome.
That's
Like,
it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that was like before she had like anything down too. That was just like the rough ideas. Because then
Yeah.
the next time she came back and she had the thing like completed, and it was like amazing.
Yeah, that was
And we were
when
blown away.
That's when we knew. We were like, yeah, 100%. Like she's got it. Like
So just to elaborate, when she tried out, were you guys trying to continue Voltress just revamped?
Well,
Or were you trying out to be a new band altogether, just playing around with new ideas to play around with new Voltress stuff?
well, that's a thought that crossed our mind for sure, because like we had thought about like we had started writing "Water Turns the Wheel" and jamming on other stuff, and when did we decide that we weren't gonna continue on like trying to be like Vulturous?
pretty much like right before we went into the studio. Basically we were like, oh well, you know, we might try to, you know, do Vulturous
Because
and,
like we had like all the material, we weren't sure about like starting over from scratch. I guess.
Vulturous had built up, like, you know, you put out a debut CD and like you get some press behind you.
And you kind of get a fan base.
Yeah, we had a
and
fan.
then
You know,
it's
we had
like,
a fan base at that point,
start all
and it's like, oh, dude, we gotta start from scratch. Oh, jeez. But you know, after we'd finished the song and we'd really like listen back to it a couple times, like just from like some rough recordings, we were kind of like, this doesn't sound like Vulturous. Like,
No.
it's a totally different impression.
a
And-
totally different beast.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, part of it, for me at least, was I didn't want to like put out something under the name of Vulturous and then have fans like be disappointed because it wasn't what they were expecting. So I was like, that, you know, that really wouldn't be, you know, I guess in the spirit of Vulturous. So I was like, I don't want to do that. And then it was just, I don't know, it was different enough that I was like, you know, we could put out something new, like something fresh, and like really, hopefully get the same fan base, you know. Or
So then you brought some Vulturous tonight. Would we? This is what I'm thinking. If we start, we'll play a Vulturous song, and then we'll play a Farwatch song, so we can kind of see the evolution of what you guys used to be to what you are now.
that
What do you
would be
think?
Cool. I'd be down with that.
All right. Well, what Vulturous song you brought a CD in? What would you want to play?
Which one do you want to play first?
Ooh, well, since they're about the same length, let's do part 3, which should be called The Path.
It's
And
track
then-
3,
and it's
I
track
think.
3 on the CD that we gave you guys.
Sweet. So the Path, and then that was off of your debut CD that you guys had made. What was that off of?
Distance.
Distance. That was the CD that was
Yeah.
the title of it.
And when was that
Perfect.
one recorded? And where?
That's a whole story.
So I don't want to keep pumping the Vulturous, but kind of, to show the full circle
Well,
of
if he
where
said
it
it's
started.
going to be a long story, let's play the song
Okay.
first, and then we'll
We'll
discuss
play the
it.
story, then we'll come back in, and then okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm down with that.
We'll
What
let
was the
them
song
wonder.
again?
The Path.
The Path.
You are not the man of the house. I will reverse our dilemma and rescue your spouse. Lock your doors, boy, let's see how you squirm. My army is waiting outside just to see if you learn. When she called on me, I could feel like
Dave on the Metal Experience, and I play drums in the band Alethea. And not only do we make orgasms out of your ears, we make good friends too. I'm gonna introduce you to my bandmates right over here. I'm Jake.
I'm Jake.
I'm Zach. And that's the sound of you coming.
And we're back with Farwatch, but we just heard a Vulturous song.
What?
What was that Vulturous song called?
That was called The Path.
The Path. I'm Luke O'Blaze with Morgan Danielle, sitting across from that guy Greg. I got no cool Greg name for him.
Webmaster.
Greg Master.
Greg Master.
Greg Master.
I like it.
That's it.
But on our website, he goes by Greggy.
Greggy, yeah, I put on Greggy. Greg Master Greg. And we're here with Farwatch, but we just heard a Vulturous song. What
You
was
said
that
that.
one said? It was the Path?
The Path, yeah.
And what was that one about? Do you know?
Well, Distance is a concept album, so that's like a part in a larger story.
Was it about how far you guys had to travel to practice with each other?
No. Vulturous was actually all in the same town, so
Yeah, wouldn't it be ironic? if
it would be pretty. We should write
our album should actually be called Distance.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like a legitimate concern.
And it's the distance that we have to travel for band practice.
Maybe
Yeah, yeah.
each song should be how many minutes it takes for you to get to each other. Each song is a different time length.
Oh my god.
that would be like 3 albums.
Yeah. Those would be concept albums.
Yeah, it would be awesome. The time it took for me to get to you.
That's what it'll be called. The Time It Took.
The time it took.
So you said where was the Vulturous album recorded at?
Okay, so the Vulturous album was recorded in Dyer, Indiana. At the one of the guitarists from Monolith, Kyle. We recorded with him. Then we flew out to New York to to mix it.
You guys went out. You didn't just send the tracks out to New York. You're just like
No,
we're
we
going
went
with
out.
them.
Yeah, we were like we wanted to make sure that it came out okay, so we went with them. And then we also did a little bit of additional recording in New York.
So how
Okay.
long were you out in New York for?
It was supposed to be for 2 weeks, but it ended up being about a month.
You stayed in New York for a month?
Yeah.
And your jobs were all like, yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I pretty much told them like, look, I'm
a musician.
look,
I'm gonna be fucking busy.
like I'm gone, and you can find someone, or you can just wait a little bit for me to come back.
Boom. Well, that worked out.
That's awesome.
Did it work out, or
It did work out,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay, good.
What about for the
I
other
didn't.
guys?
I didn't.
No,
I
they-
hated that job anyway, so it didn't matter.
They fired me.
I don't care. Like even if they would have fired me, I wouldn't have cared.
So when you stayed out there, did you have a place to stay, or was it all in a hotel?
So we were couch surfing, right? So the original plan was for me and the drummer Paul to stay out there with this woman. She was really nice, and she agreed to put us up for 2 weeks.
Nice.
Okay, so we pretty much just like slept on her couch, and then Anthony came out, didn't find a place to stay, so he stayed with us. That was after like the first week or so.
And this chick was like, "What the fuck? You didn't say this?"
No, she's totally cool with it.
all right.
And then we
How did
stayed
you
an
find
additional
this
2
woman?
weeks.
And she was totally fine with
Yeah,
that too.
didn't bring it up at all.
Nice.
So how did you
Like,
find
are
this
you guys
woman?
ever planning on leaving
right?
my couch?
I mean, if she did mind, I mean, we clean up after ourselves and like,
We're
we
courteous.
bought our own food. It's
Kind
not
and
like she was
courteous.
cooking for us or anything like that. Yeah, we tried to be really nice to her.
To kind of
if
pay
she-
for your way.
Yeah, if she did have if she did mind, she never brought it up. At least.
She's like, "Mom,
I think
these
maybe
guys won't leave my house."
I think maybe towards the end she might have gotten like a little bit like.
Aggravated, yeah. Like,
You
when
know,
is this
just
gonna
like
end?
still here.
But she's, I don't know, she's real. And we were never like really there all the time, like because we would go to the guy, to the producer's house and we would just mix and stuff.
And how many tracks were on that CD?
That was 7 tracks. And then the total running time was like 76 minutes.
Every time people mention couch surfing, I always want to be like, so how are those waves?
Oh my
It's
goodness.
such a weird
like term for like.
She'll be here all
term.
week, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks.
Just
Comedy
hanging out
nights
in
on
the back of
Tuesday
the
for
bar.
right now at Fitz's are postponed, so I'm your entertainment for the evening.
Oh,
No
my
joke.
gosh.
Sorry. In New York, though, who did you guys go to mix the CD with?
So we mixed it with Eyal Amir, and
Hey, y'all.
yeah, we would say it like that, because Americans were like, oh yeah, it's spelled Eyal.
What?
So
That's not how I imagined
Yeah,
it.
but he's like, no, it's Eyal, and we were like, I never got it right, never got it right, but it is Eyal.
All right.
Eyal.
But you can look him up on YouTube. He's done. He's pretty much famous for his YouTube videos. Just look up Eyal Amir and
If you can spell it
if
correctly.
it's Eyal. And you'll find a ton of videos. But we liked his production style, and just on a whim, we were like, well, let's see if this guy will mix our stuff for us, and he did.
And you found him from YouTube?
Yeah.
Nice.
So now moving on to Voltress, how long has...
You mean Farwatch?
No, moving on from Voltress,
Oh.
how long has Farwatch now been the lineup that it is today?
The lineup that it is today is like
Not very long.
2 or 3 months.
2 or 3 months?
Yeah,
okay.
we just found a keyboard player.
But,
So before the keyboard player, how long was the lineup?
In total, it's like 2.5 years.
2.5 years,
A little bit
something
over
like
2.5
that,
years. Yeah.
Okay. And then how did you guys come up with the name?
See, this is where Mary should be here because she would. It was really like Mary was like, "Hey guys, what do you think about the word Farwatch?" And we were like, "That's cool."
Yeah, I guess it's like, I think she took it from one of her Pathfinder campaigns.
Pathfinder.
It's like
The
a
car?
no, the RPG game. Yeah,
Okay.
right. So she runs like tabletop games.
Okay.
And she was like, "Oh yeah, it's from this basically Dungeons and Dragons like."
I was going to say,
campaign. Yeah.
okay. So there's a
D&D,
bunch
son.
There's a
Yeah.
bunch of dice involved, and you make
Yeah.
up your own character.
And elongated ears.
Man, I wish I had friends like that growing up. I want to do that shit. I've got a character, guys. Take me in.
What's your character?
I'm not talking about that on air.
What's your
It's
character?
Private. No.
Really quick.
No.
I'm the poop monster.
No. It's a sorceress called Ivrin.
Ivrin.
And done.
Mine would
Continuing
be a
with
poop
Farwatch.
monster
No.
called Poop
There's
Monster.
no poop monsters.
And I would poop a lot.
Okay, so
And
it was
win.
from her like guild. Is it a place? Is
Hold
it
on,
a character?
really quick.
No more
what's
poop
everyone's,
monster.
What's everyone's monster guy?
Monster guy.
Mine's a monster. 'cause
What's
it's got
your
poop.
RPG character? Get your terms correct.
I actually am in the middle of playing a D&D campaign right
Nice.
now.
Okay. What's your cool guy name?
What level are you?
I'm level 5.
Nice.
How many levels does it go up to?
20.
Okay. So you're a quarter of the way there.
Quarter of the way there. Yeah. Half elf.
Half
Nice.
elf.
So
All
a
right.
halfling. That's awesome.
Not a half.
Halfling. No. Damn it. I'm not that cool, guys.
Actually the halfling. Just get like super nerd.
That's wrong. I'm
What-
not a halfling.
What's your character's name?
Half elf.
Tassix, the beacon. You
The
gotta say you gotta say the whole thing.
Nice.
else.
I have a Legolas cardboard stand-up in my room. Do you want to take them home?
I have a
That's cool.
I have a Freddy Krueger stand up in
I'll
cardboard
take
in
that.
my room.
I want the
Oh.
Legolas one.
Do you?
Yes.
Do you really?
Yes.
I'll give it to you.
Thank you.
No, she'll do you really want it? She'll give it.
Yes.
Oh, there you go. It's
You
yours.
just have to fix his broken arrow holder.
He's got a
It's okay. He's
arrow
still in
holder.
good condition. I didn't do anything with him. You can
Better
have
be.
him. I'll bring him next time. Okay. Martin, do you have a character?
No, I do not have a character.
If
What
you
would
had
your
to
character
We
make
tried
one
to make
right
a character,
now,
didn't we?
Oh yeah, we
I was a wizard or something.
yeah, there was a
right?
point where I was
but
gonna
I never came up with a name.
Yeah, there was a point where I was trying to get a D&D campaign together, and since nobody else would, I was going to dungeon master it, but
It just
it
never
just kind of
happened.
just fell through. Instead, we ended up playing poker. Something like
You got into gambling.
yeah.
and now I'm in debt, and I lost my house, I lost my wife, my children don't speak to me
I
anymore.
don't have any legs. Jimmy the Moose is coming for me on Saturday.
My kneecaps are shot.
Greg, do you have a character or anything in an RPG game? He has to think about this.
I don't
Greg
know
the
why.
Greggling.
Unless his headphones are out and he
Greg
just doesn't
the
care
what?
anymore.
Greg the
I
Greggling.
don't. No,
Greg
I'm-
Master.
He
Greg.
could be. He would make a good gremlin.
What was it? Greg
Greg
I'd
the
be
Greggling.
one of those
Greg Master.
magic guys.
Magic guys?
Yeah.
That's a card game.
What
That's
would
not
your
an
magic-
RPG
no,
game.
your
no,
magic
a
skill
magic
be?
person.
What would your
Oh,
magic
you mean
skill
like a
be?
sorcerer?
Yes.
Mine
Okay.
would be I could shoot poop extremely long distances
He
at
doesn't
will.
take those games seriously. You'd be like an enchanter.
Yes.
I could
Oh
see
yeah, I would
that.
enchant my
Oh,
feces
right.
all over
So
you.
Farwatch
Yes.
Mary came up with, and this was a character name, or was it a place? Do you know?
It's like
I
a
think
common.
it was a place.
Yeah, it's like a common fantasy place type deal.
That's pretty cool. He's got a poop.
It was after,
you can
like-
tell with the way he's grabbing him. Yeah.
It was like a whole. We went through like a whole list of names that we were all just kind of like,
Ooh,
Pass.
what names? Can you give us some? Do you remember any?
Do we
No.
do we still have?
Do you have the list somewhere? The worst names that you might have had?
I think they would probably be best left unsaid.
They're probably like.
Come on, go
they're
back and
probably
laugh
like,
at it.
Like geometry terms or something stupid like that.
yeah, there was definitely
something like
that.
really snobby and like pretentious.
We're gonna be called Divided.
Yeah.
Come on, give us at least one.
Dodecahedron.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Wasn't that suggested?
What is?
No,
wait,
no,
say that
it
again.
So
What was it?
So dodecahedron is like a 12-sided figure.
What?
Dodecahedron.
No one could say that.
Because clearly we have 12 sides to our music.
Yeah.
or
Well, he
something
just did.
But that was just.
Yeah.
It was too genty. You know, it was too much like Tesseract or something. Like
There
that.
you go.
Yeah.
Cool RPG place name. That's awesome. And then your track that you guys are gonna play coming up, the single.
Where was that recorded?
That was recorded by our friend Roland, and that was in.
See me rolling.
It was in Illinois. What town is it?
Olympia Fields.
Olympia Fields, Illinois.
Nice.
That's
Where
he's-
the heck is
We've had
that?
a couple people from Olympia Fields on
Have
the show.
we?
Yeah.
So he's got a studio
Pretty
there
sure.
called Paper Thin
Paper
Studios.
thin.
Yeah, he runs it out of his basement. He does a really, really good job.
Now, did he
So-
also mix it?
Yeah, he mixed it and mastered it. And he's also going to be doing our debut album that we're currently in the middle of recording right now.
Woo.
And he'll be mixing that, and then we'll probably have it mastered somewhere else.
So how many tracks are you looking at right now?
7.
No, 6.
6.
Because
Oh, yeah.
Water Turns the Wheel would have been 7.
Yeah. Okay, so he's right.
Do you have a title for that? And is
No.
it going to be like a full length or an EP or what's the?
Oh, it's a full length. It's
Okay.
about an hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
6 songs, and then how long is the average song?
10 minutes.
Jeez. So when you guys play live, is it usually just like a 3-song set?
4.
Hold on a
4
second.
if we get lucky.
Luco, do the math on that. 6 songs, and it's 60 minutes, and you're asking what the average length is.
Listen,
Seriously?
listen here.
She's got a point.
Listen.
10 times
I've been
6 is
drinking over
60.
here.
That was a
And
really simple math problem, though.
Look, if train A is leaving,
at the station.
That's a little too complicated.
And train B
but
is
this was
hammered
like, wait
drunk.
a minute. I'm sorry, I just
Train
had to
B
point that
takes
out.
his
of like,
shirt
wait,
off
what?
because he's
look, you gotta get
hammered
the shots
drunk.
when you get them.
All right, so the track that you brought, the single, is called what?
Water turns the wheel.
Water Turns the Wheel.
I
And
feel like a dummy.
what, that was my point to make.
Thanks.
You feel sorry. What is that track about? Do you know what Mary wrote about?
Do you know the story better than me? I don't know.
I don't know the actual story. I know it involves some sort of Alice in Wonderland sort of thing where I know part of it is like there's a guy trapped like in a wall or trapped like
What?
between 2 walls with like water like filling up the room. Something
Yeah.
like that. It's pretty abstract.
That would not
Mary,
be a
Mary
Yes.
writes
What
her
else
lyrics,
is
and
Wonderland?
that's
That-
kind of her deal.
That would still not be a good situation to be in.
All I'm thinking is that trash chute from Star Wars where the walls are closing in on them. Water?
But with water.
Yeah, with water.
With liquid.
That's
I
awesome.
don't know. She would have to be here to fully explain it.
Yeah. We're probably just gonna butcher it.
Yeah, she's probably gonna listen to this later.
Mary,
She's
in
like- she's like-
Carol Stream, please come
She's
out
like,
to the show.
everything that they said was absolutely nothing of what any of the lyrics were. Maybe. I don't know.
Well, let's go ahead and listen to that song, and then we can come back in and discuss more about Farwatch. So here is the first single.
And what was that called again?
Water turns the wheel.
Let's do it.
Thank you.
And we are back. I am Morgan Danielle with That's Luco Blaze and Greg Master. And we are here with Farwatch and just heard their first single off their upcoming debut album. And what is that song called? For the third time.
That's called Water Turns the Wheel. It's actually a standalone single, not off the album.
Standalone. Oh, my bad.
Yeah,
Standalone
Morgan?
single.
How dare you?
It's okay. It's probably our fault. We didn't elaborate.
You know what?
Yeah, I mean, and the original intention
Hold on.
was to include
I'm
it,
fixing-
but we
Don't,
didn't.
because it's on a little bitty microphone.
Just had a fuzzy.
Okay.
Just getting the
I
fuzzy.
thought you were going to
It
take
looked
the
weird.
top off.
Yeah.
Anyway, we are back. And that track that you guys recorded, the single track, very exciting.
One.
Very exciting. When do you expect the whole album to be done with 6 additional tracks?
Well, hopefully
Six
it'll be,
only
Six
tracks.
only tracks.
Hopefully it'll be done sometime early next year. We're in the middle of tracking it right now. Then we got to mix it, master it, get
So-
artwork and stuff.
Of the 6 songs, how many do you guys have recorded?
We have 2 of them recorded. I'm about to go in and record the third one soon here.
All right. And any ideas for the album artwork? Any type of
Concepts?
concepts?
We're not sure about concepts yet. We kind of have been looking at different artists. Actually, we've been thinking about asking the guy who did the Goosebumps artwork.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
This is the best idea ever.
So apparently,
Do you know his name?
I can't,
Tim Jacobus, I believe.
Yeah,
is he
something
the
like that.
same guy that did every single book's artwork?
for the most part, yeah.
He did all. Really?
Um,
That's a new one. You know what? We've interviewed a lot of bands, and no one has ever said that. Please.
That's
explain.
very original, and I love
So
it.
so I actually saw him in a Vice article, and I was like, and he's like, yeah, I really like prog, and I was really inspired by the guy who did Yes's album covers
Yeah,
and
Roger
stuff.
Dean.
Yeah, Roger Dean.
And Yes is awesome. by the
Yeah,
way.
and we love Yes, and we love that
No.
that type of artwork style. And we were like, dude, this guy, like, when we get our stuff and we get we want an album title before we come to him, you know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
But let's see if let's get a quote and see what'll happen,
Dude.
But that would be sweet. He would probably because he does paintings and stuff, so he'd make a painting for us.
So that's a thing, legit you can do. Have you asked him hey?
We haven't asked him, so it's not like
This
an
is like a
official-
hope.
Well,
that we
they,
have.
There's only-
they
it's
said
a
they
hope.
wanted to come up with a title first and pitch it to
Yeah, we're
him.
not gonna come up with him with nothing. You know what I mean? We want.
So is all of his stuff almost like a horror concept, or
No,
does he
actually,
do other stuff?
I remember looking at his portfolio, and there was stuff in there that's just landscape paintings, and they look amazing.
Yeah, go online. It's awesome. It's like that. It's like that sweet spot between I don't know if you're looking at album book covers or something, but in between the 80s and 90s where stuff was still paintings and you could tell, but it looked really good. I don't know. It's just an interesting art style that you don't see a lot today. Everything's all digital and
yeah.
which nothing against that, but we kind of wanted a little bit of a different direction.
And that would be, to be honest, we've interviewed a lot of bands,
Yeah.
and no one's ever said, the guy that does all the Goosebumps artwork. We're gonna try and get that guy.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
That would be pretty sweet.
now
Watch,
you're
he's
making me want to go see the movie.
Watch,
now.
he's $1 million billions.
I probably doubt that. I don't think he does Goosebumps anymore because I don't think they're printing. So
You know what? I don't think they are anymore either. But
But they keep making movies, and they have to keep printing covers for those.
probably
not
different guy.
for what? No, it's probably a different guy because all the original artwork is. You can tell that it's him.
Yeah, he did the werewolf, in the swamp. And,
That's my
the,
favorite book.
the haunt
of
or the
Goosebumps.
mask and stuff.
I actually have almost all the Goosebump books. I'm gonna pull them out tomorrow.
I have a lot of them in my basement. Have you
Yeah.
seen those?
Yeah, I probably have them. So we're getting rid of.
I was a huge fan of Goosebumps.
I was
so-
Might
too.
be fucked
You
up.
know,
sure.
for a kid and reading those, and I'm not into horror movies. I
weird.
really liked those books, and I've never really read horror genres after that. I think it was just one of those things when you grew up in the 90s. They were so popular and so common. But Werewolf in Fever Swamp, the movie, gave me nightmares.
Pussy.
No joke.
I liked Horrorland. That was my
Horrorland was
yeah,
good
from the-
too.
from the TV show.
I own a bunch of those books, and to be honest with you, I've read 1.5
That's terrible.
of all of
They
them.
take 15 minutes to read.
And I
Like,
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, it was like
what is wrong with
you could read
He
or you
doesn't
could
really
go
like reading.
fucking like I don't know, play baseball or
He
something.
was one of
so
those
it was
kids
like,
getting
play
into
baseball.
troubles, and I was
I was.
a bookworm. So, what was your favorite Goosebump book then?
Oh, you're on the spot,
Oh.
son. I can tell you mine because I only
None,
read
because
one
you didn't read them.
full one.
Which
It-
one?
It was the one with that like guy that looked like a superhero on the cover, but he was the bad guy villain. He was like purple. You know, you know what I'm talking about.
Nope.
No.
He was like there was a tower in the bed. They made one of the movie like the little episodes of him. Fuck, I don't remember.
Goosebump villain. I'll have to look.
But
up
he
a
was like
picture.
it was like a guy who was dressed as like a superhero, but he wasn't a superhero. He was a bad guy, and it was like his cape was like purplish, reddish, and
I think I've seen the cover that you're talking about.
okay.
But I'd never read that particular
Attack
one.
of the Mutant.
Oh,
That's
I
the
found
one
it.
you're
Attack
thinking.
of the Mutant. Holy shit! He was totally right. He's dead on. Attack of the Mutant. Greg, you're.
He's blue, but
this is what he's
purple
He
is
kind
in
of
the
looks like a
background.
Batman.
Greg
Yeah.
with the Gregening.
Doesn't he kind of look like a Batman Wolverine
That's
mix?
the only one I've ever
That's
read.
the only
I
one
read
that you read?
one. I actually read that one 1.5 times.
I'm surprised you
and I
didn't
read-
read like Say Cheese and Die or The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb.
Say Cheese and Die is pretty good.
You know,
yeah.
what? I think I maybe have read some of those like a little bit, but as a kid, I just had a very short attention span, especially towards reading. I mean, just towards reading, actually.
Actually,
Actually,
here's one I
just
don't
reading.
think I saw. A Hair-Raising Holiday?
Let me see.
I've never seen this one.
Yeah. It's a,
Oh, I have that.
Okay, I don't think I have this
I don't
one,
know, actually. I lied. I have no idea.
so I don't know. I can't think of top ones off the top of my head. I can give you top three. How about
Okay,
that? Does that
top
work?
three.
All right.
In no particular order?
No particular
Okay.
order. I can't remember the exact title, but it's the one where they're at the camp and there's like the monster like stalking them.
Camp Crystal Lake. Jason Voorhees.
Yeah,
No,
I wish.
Luco.
It's like I don't know. It's like Sleepaway Camp or something like that.
Sleepaway Camp?
No, it's no.
1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
See, yeah, it's I can't remember off the top of my head. I just remember the cover.
Have you ever seen Sleepaway Camp, the
The
first
horror
one?
of... Nope.
That one?
No.
That looks like a camp.
It's like camp something.
Look at just show him
The
the, cover.
horror of...
No, the
No,
other
because
one.
it says the
Camp
horror of...
Chuck.
This is made
Have
for
you ever seen Sleepaway Camp?
Arabs.
Have you ever seen Sleepaway Camp?
No.
Oh.
right.
It's an 80s, slasher flick. And the only thing I tell you is get prepared to see some dick. And that's it.
Some
Okay,
dick.
so your top
Some
three
dick.
was the camp
Sorry.
one?
The
Sorry.
camp.
Welcome to
Horrorland.
Camp Nightmare.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Look that up. Let's see the cover.
I'm going to.
And then we got Horrorland.
Horrorland, yeah.
And then
One day at Horrorland?
yeah, one day at Horrorland, and then probably
the covers?
I don't know any. I can't remember it, but it's basically a vampire one. It's like one where he gets like, there's like a vampire, like my next door neighbor is a vampire or something like that. That's like the type of story.
Let me see the gosh dang covers,
I'm
Morgan.
trying to find the one
I
that he's
s-
talking
I
about.
sent it to your
the
phone.
frig fraggin' covers.
Oh, is it Vampire Breath?
Probably.
This one where he's like coming out of the coffin?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Let
Okay.
me see the covers.
That's awesome. Anything, Martin? Did you like them?
He's
I liked them, but I didn't like them. Like
Not
Luco, I didn't.
religiously?
Yeah,
No.
I read a lot of them. I read a lot as a kid. So.
You know what? Maybe it was Phantom of the Auditorium, actually, now that I'm looking at it. It was the one I liked.
That's not a superhero.
Nah, it could have been totally.
Awesome. Well, that was a great
There's Welcome
conversation.
to Horrorland.
That's
Okay.
a great
A shocker on shocker.
concept for some artwork for you guys. So do you know, like, would you be looking for like a Goosebump type artwork, or are you looking for something more different than what he would be known for outside of Goosebumps?
I mean, the stuff he does outside of Goosebumps is not nearly as like.
It's not as
Pastel.
horror driven either.
Yeah, it's not as like pastel and like kind of cheesy. The stuff he does outside of Goosebumps is like, it's still kind of got like that painting kind of quality to it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a lot more on like an epic kind of beautiful scale. So that's probably more what we're going for.
These are bringing back such old
Nice.
school memories.
We'll have to read
of
them
books
together.
I never.
I'll read them to
read.
you when you go to sleep.
I just like the
It'll be
covers
awesome.
a lot. I was like, whoa,
I do
that
too.
looks sweet.
Well, let's hear
Kill
another.
Us, We're made of poop. Yes, yes.
Nope,
Yes.
that's not a book.
That one's called Kill Us, We're Made of Poop.
Oh,
I have that one.
I read that one though.
Is that one's not actually called "Kill Us We're Made of Poop"? Is it? Because
We're looking at Google all these
"Kill Us
Goosebump
We're
books.
Made
So
of
just
Poop."
type in Goosebump books and look up all those old titles, and then look at the ones that people have altered that are ridiculous. But because you guys only brought one Farwatch song to share with us for a sneak preview of what's to come for your album, despite it not being on the album, you guys brought a couple more Vulture songs to share to kind of show where you guys have evolved from musically. So why don't we play the twofer and get Vultress out of the way, and then you guys also brought some tracks of projects that you guys have also worked in and
or are fans of.
Yeah.
or fans of that we can play as well, to get some ideas as to what else you guys are a part of in the scene. So the two other Vulture songs that you guys brought tonight, what are those called?
So we have A Chord from Heaven, which is the opening to the album, and it's gonna start off as mostly like an instrumental for the first half, and then kick into like an actual song. That whole first half is kind of like an overture that you would hear if you went to like, a musical or something like that. It's basically like we took snippets from the album and like reworked them to fit into one long flowing piece. And then you'll hear the Siren Screams, which is the 5th track off the album, or 6th actually. And that one's about like some chick getting shot at like an opera.
Oh my god.
Just shot in the face.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's pretty clear in the chorus. Like a shot rang out in the auditorium. Like, the imagery's there. So.
All right, rock and roll. Well, let's do it. We got a twofer for you. Greg Master, set it up.
You're listening to The Metal Experience.
We've assembled a collection of bands who have drummers.
I do magic.
Well, it's easy if you try, Dick. Now sit back and listen.
And we're back, and we just heard another Farwatch song.
Nope.
We
Vulture.
let's cut that out. Let's do this again. Morgan burped and fucked me up. Because I also had to burp, so I was like,
I read your mind and did it for you.
I was like about to burp, and then I was like, all right, she just burped.
Let's just keep this and just keep going.
Okay.
So we just heard two new, not new. Damn
Wait,
it! Now we
we're
should cut it.
We're leaving that? All right, fuck it. We just heard two Vulture songs, which were not new at all.
No,
to
they've been
me
out for
they
like
were.
2 years.
They were not new at all.
They
So
were new to the metal experience.
They were
Boom.
new to the metal experience. What were those two songs we just heard?
That was A Chord from Heaven, followed by the I'm forgetting my own band.
No.
The Siren Screams,
There you
I
go.
believe.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And you have no idea what those were about.
Well, I
okay.
could explain the whole story. if
Do
you
it.
want.
Why not? Fuck it.
So basically, the whole gist is there's
You
the
said
concept
gist.
of the Vulturess. The Vulturess, which is essentially like the siren from Greek mythology.
Yes.
Okay. Well, the Vulturess is basically that.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. Anyways, let's pretend that you do.
Okay.
But basically, like a beautiful woman that lures men to their demise.
Ooh.
So in the first 3 songs, the first half of the album, the Vulturess appears. The Vulturess is already out, and she is.
You just got
she's
hooked
kind
up.
of she's kind of the woman of the Caesar, I guess, or like the ruler of this province or whatever. So this guy falls in love with her, and they have this secret romance, and eventually he figures out like what like he's trying to take her away from the evil Caesar, and so he leads like a town.
Guitar.
Yeah, Caesar. He leads like a town against him, and they burn down the ruler's house, and when he goes looking for her, she's nowhere to be found. So then it's years later, and a mirror falls from the sky into this basically like this teenager's backyard, and he goes and looks, and there's this beautiful woman in the mirror.
Ooh.
And she starts talking to him, and she's like, oh, like come to the opera tonight, like I'll be there, like come
Wait
with
a
me.
second. So this mirror falls from the sky.
Look,
and this
she's
lady
really
in the
hot.
mirror is like, hey, look at
my
me.
God.
Look at these titties.
Basically.
And she's like, you need to come to this opera. I'd be like, listen,
I'm at that opera.
why would I go to an opera when I could just fucking beat off right here?
What?
Come on.
All right, so
I don't know
so
if
he
I like
goes to
you doing the show,
He
Joe.
goes to the opera, and there, he finds the seat. The seat's already picked out for him, but he's sitting next to an empty seat, and he's like, oh, she's not going to show, and she comes out on stage. And
That's what I thought was
going
gonna
to She starts
happen.
singing the aria, the opening to the opera, and all the men in the audience are enraptured. And then a shot rings out, and it goes through her, and the boy's like, no, he does this dramatic like, no, and then like he sees the guy like from the balcony who shot her, so he chases him down the street.
You fucking cunt.
Yeah, like, oh, I'm never gonna get laid.
Never.
And so he chases him down, and then when he chases him down, the guy he catches up, and it's the guy from earlier, from that led the revolt against Caesar. He's figured Caesar. He's figured out what she is. He's figured out like through years of like obsession, like what she is and what she represents. She's leading these men to their demise.
Succubus.
Yeah, basically a succubus. So he's like, you have to destroy the mirror. It's the only way. And then along the way, they meet the Caesar. He's like in poverty. And he's the Caesar. He's like, hey guys, I'm homeless. Can you spare some change? So then they go, and the boy throws the mirror off the cliff, and it breaks into the sand. That's basically the whole thing.
Okay.
But he's like, but real quick, before I throw us out, I'm going to get me some, and then I'm going to chuck it.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
no, yeah, that's for sure what happened.
You're telling this story, and every single time you said Caesar, he said it. And then you don't have to correct yourself.
No,
Do you
no,
know what
no.
that's from?
No.
It's from the show called Kroll Show that we watched on
Oh,
Comedy
nice.
Central.
Where it's like, yo, what's
And
up?
it was this
Caesar?
retard kid that he used to play in the
He
it's
wasn't
weird,
retarded. He was fucking cool.
Dude,
he
I
was
wish-
like this fake white rapper wannabe type
Called
guy.
Caesar.
I wish Paul was here. He's a huge fan of the Kroll Show.
Nice.
That's what it's from, and you kept correcting yourself to match what he was saying.
I don't know. I'm just trying to feed
I'm like,
off the
what,
bit
but
he's
what
doing.
you're saying.
Look, I don't want to leave him stranded out there. I'm like,
I
look,
was
he's
like-
going to do a bit. I'm going to give him some feedback
Yeah.
here.
I
No, that was
liked it. It was
perfect.
hilarious. I'm like, wait, why does
Caesar.
he keep correcting himself?
No, it was perfect. That was
You know.
wonderful.
Oh my
I'm not
God.
gonna leave the guy stranded there.
No, but that was totally from Kroll Show. He's like, yo, what's up? This is Caesar. And he had like these crappy lip rings, and he
Let
looked
there
goofy.
be cake.
My motto is let there be cake. Something like that.
All right.
I don't remember.
Ridiculous. Now you
Something
need to look it
ridiculous.
up.
Sorry.
I'll show it to you on a little break. I'll pull them up for you. You can see how weird
That's what
he
she said.
is. Shut up. So with Farwatch, have you guys played any shows, or are you waiting on that?
Yeah, we've played quite a few. Well, not quite a few. I think, how many have we played now? 4 or 5, something like
A
that.
little bit more than that.
Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head the actual number of shows that we've played. We played a few.
So, what are some of the favorite bands you guys have played with in the scene?
Well, we're pretty much friends, like best friends with all the dudes from Axios. Which Martin used to be the guitarist for that band. So
Martin.
and then Testimony,
Yeah.
One Way Charlie.
Now, how do you guys? You used to be in Testimony,
Yeah.
but where are they from? Indiana?
Yeah, they're from
Okay.
Northwest Indiana. Taylor and Derek, drummer and bass player, actually are from Valpo, where Chucho's from.
And all those guys are phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they're all great.
Players, oh,
like
man.
all these bands, yeah. They're
And
amazing.
watching them live is also very entertaining.
We played in Lafayette. Played with bands like Antica Arcana.
Yes.
Good guys, great guys.
Yeah. Bizarre
They're
Noir.
awesome.
They're
Yeah.
from like Kentucky or something like that. I don't know. But
And then the circus.
Blue Moon Circus. Oh, maybe Blue Moon Circus is from Kentucky. I don't
I don't remember. I just remember
But like,
it was awesome.
yeah, we played the show in the Lafayette Theater. It was amazing. It's a great venue to play.
Was it thanks to the Doom Room?
Yeah.
Have you ever played-
Yeah.
You know about Nick?
Have you ever
Fuck
played
yeah.
at the Doom Room?
Nick
Yeah.
Maxon?
Yeah. He's played there.
I've played at the Doom Room.
We've been to shows there. We go out there. every once
Which
in a while.
one? They've had
The
like
new-
4 different ones.
The new Doom Room or the older Doom Room?
The new one.
I've been to the older one though, but I because I played with Ben Solo thing and the older one.
Oh, Lucid Interval? Or
Lucid
Earth?
Interval? I don't
Earth?
remember.
I don't know.
Something like that.
Shut up, Ben Rose.
But
Give
they
up.
have a.
Give up. Ben, if you're listening to this, give up on music.
And you know what's cool?
He's just joking. Not serious.
He
Ben-
wasn't ready.
Ben's kind of that friend that like everyone gives shit to. Like, and
Shut up, Ben.
kind of how it is.
But you know,
yeah,
it's,
but it's out of like love.
It's out of
It's
love.
out of love.
it's cool because we've had some of the bands from the Indiana
Lafayette
scene, the
scene.
Lafayette scene on our show before,
Yeah.
and every time we go out there, they put us up for the night. I mean, that's a
It's awesome.
3.5 hour drive. You know, it's like that's
There's a different. I mean, don't get me wrong. Chicago has an awesome scene with a lot of
it's
unity.
a different scene and it's a different
It's
unity.
so awesome to go someplace else to see how much like
And the Doom Room shows are always
Yeah.
the
Oh,
shit.
the more promotion they've got going for each other. Antica Arcana's been on. We've had Lucifist.
We'd be
We'd be supposed
They've
to
never
come back. We've been in
been
talks
on,
with
but
them.
we've hung out with them.
And we've had a couple
We've
other
been, well,
ones
we've interviewed them, just not on the show. We've
Yeah.
interviewed on location.
on location. Yeah.
No,
So
we really want to get like some real cross promotion between Northwest Indiana and Lafayette because like their scene, I feel like Northwest Indiana is kind of like a little isolated pocket. You know, sometimes it bleeds over into Chicago and you guys get wind of it, but a lot of times it just kind of like stays static and you know.
Don't forget about Dwarf Among Midgets.
Yeah.
Dwarf Among Midgets is
Those guys
awesome.
are
We've been
awesome.
trying to get them out on our show. We saw them with Green Jello.
That is an awesome band name.
Yeah, Dwarf Among Midgets, and we saw them also. They did that Lafayette show in the parking lot of that record store, which was awesome.
I bought a
we went to
Misfits shirt.
some fest that I can't even remember. There's been some. We went to the Doom Room twice, right? Or
Yes.
Doom Room twice.
Both
and then
when it was the old The original.
Yeah.
Doom Room.
And we crashed at Kevin's house from Antique Arcana. And let me tell you, that was like the first house party I ever went to. It was
Never been to a house party.
fucking
like, what?
awesome. I mean, there was the first time I woke up at a house and I didn't know half the people that had slept there that night. I'm like, who are
guys go
you?
hard.
How do you know the band? This is super weird, but this is fucking awesome.
Dude, those guys get like kegs and like
Yeah.
Yeah,
bands
they
are
go-
playing.
It was
like,
crazy.
they
they
go
had
hard.
like Nidosaur out from Minnesota
They were awesome.
that night. They
That
were
guy-
awesome.
I had my mustache at the time, and that guy had a sweet. The bassist of Nidosaur had a sweet mustache.
And they had Eyes of Dementia play that night, which
They-
was
Kevin's
other band.
and they were fucking awesome.
And then Antique Arcana, and then there was
Also awesome.
one other band, and we missed them, and I can't remember who it was that played that night.
I couldn't tell you because I got hammered
Yeah,
drunk.
it was a crazy night, but yeah, there was a lot of awesome. Was it Theophagy? And then we missed Theophagy.
Whoa! If I miss Theophagy, I'll probably murder
That's
someone.
that's another band we had on. Theophagy. That was
Theophagy.
another one from Indiana.
But they were on a long time ago. But Theophagy, I don't know if they're really.
And then
doing
Brian Rush. Do you know Brian Rush?
Yeah, we know
he,
Brian.
He moved out to, was it Oregon?
Oregon,
He just
yeah.
got married.
We wanted him to be our keyboard player before he moved.
He's
Keyboardist
a phenomenal
extraordinaire.
musician too.
and
Yeah.
a great guy.
And a great
Brian's
guy.
awesome.
And moved to Oregon to open up his own studio.
No, we
Yeah.
were like so sad when he moved. So
Yeah.
like
We're never gonna find another keyboard player.
Yeah.
He just got married in
Yeah,
Indianapolis. Ben
just
went.
said. So congratulations, Brian.
Yeah.
Very happy to
And you know what was
see
cool? The
doing
last
awesome
time we
things.
went to the Doom Room, Brian was out there just
Yeah.
like, hey, I'm out visiting really quick. And it was like, what are the fucking odds? We're 3.5
Yeah.
hours away from home, and Brian's here.
Brian.
It was pretty cool. With his bride-to-be.
With his bride to be. Yep.
So we met her
I
also.
think it was before they moved that we saw them.
No, they were out there, and they were back for a little bit.
Yeah.
I believe.
I don't know. But the Doom Room, it's awesome to see them doing bigger things with that Lafayette Theater.
Oh yeah, dude, they're really expanding.
They are.
That's-
They're
and it's
awesome.
great promoters.
And Nick is super cool, super fair to all the bands.
Yeah.
You know, he made sure we were taken care of. Like
Just a dude's dude, man. Someone you want to work
he's
with.
just awesome.
He's a musician.
100% would recommend any bands looking to get out. Like hit up Nick.
He's a
great.
musician's promoter because he is a musician
Yeah.
himself.
Yeah, he
you know.
understands. You know.
We'd be.
Yeah. So bands looking for shows, definitely hit up Nick Maxon. He does the Doom Room booking.
We've had
we
some
can
bands out
get
here
you
that
a
have gone
touch
off to
or
the Doom Room.
Farwatch. Yeah. Yeah, Genotype's going out there this weekend.
Cool.
I think
And
they're
I
playing
know,
Lafayette Theater.
Yeah, if you guys are
Everything
coming from
Must Die.
Chicago, we'll go with you.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah,
sweet.
yeah. let
Everything
us
Must
know.
Die was
Everything
out
Must
there.
Die's been there. Armored Assault, Miles from Exile.
Miles from Exile.
We sent them.
Miles from Exile.
Beyond Death. Wasn't Beyond Death out there?
Beyond Dust played a couple times. I think they might be on the show this weekend.
It's Beyond Death.
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 Did you hear John Corsten from Beyond Death?
Just joined against
just
the Plagues.
joined Against the Plagues, which is pretty cool also.
And their album's coming out in February. I think.
Rock and roll, yeah. They keep releasing pictures of recording.
Yeah,
Updating.
that's pretty awesome.
Well, why don't we go ahead and we got a unsigned band pick from outside this state. Why don't we go
Woo!
ahead and give them a shout out and fucking play one of their tracks? Greg?
Now it's time for
Hey man, look what I found!
Only on the Metal Experience.
Woo! And we just are about to hear from Beaufort?
I don't know. Take a guess
South
at
Carolina, the Apprehended.
Yep.
Okay, I've read this all stupid. We are about to hear the Apprehended from Beaufort, South Carolina. The song we got tonight, Can We Just Speak? Let's do it!
Yeah.
And we just heard The Apprehended from Beaufort, South Carolina with the song Can We Just Speak. But, rock and roll. I am Luco Blaze with Morgan Danielle, and we have Sound Master Web Greg Master Greg still here with us, and we gave him the shitty mic, so when he talks sometimes it cuts out. And we are still here rocking out with Farwatch, broadcasting from the beautiful, wonderful Taco Tuesday featuring motherfucking Fitz's Spare Keys.
Yeah, in Elmhurst.
I had 7 tacos tonight.
Yeah, you're telling me. How's that agreeing with
4
you?
beef, 3 steak.
I'll let you know later when I
Yeah.
have to smell it.
Oh, I'll be farting a
Just
lot, but
Text me in 2
right now everything's
hours.
good.
I'll probably be dead.
Yeah, I mean, if I haven't killed you yet, I don't know what I can ingest that would kill you.
Maybe they just have to take a look at my lungs and see how much methane I've inhaled.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a thing.
Death by a million farts.
It's like that South Park episode, like, oh, do you want a rice pudding or cuttlefish?
Oh, the cuttlefish.
Nice. So tell us a little bit about your influences as an individual musician, and then what do you think...
Individual musician.
Exactly. And then as Farwatch goes, where you guys place yourselves, if you place yourselves in what type of category for genre music you think that you guys are for metal.
Oh, I'm first for this one?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, for me personally, influence-wise, the reason I started playing guitar is because of Eddie Van Halen. When I was like
Fuck.
7 years old,
Yes.
I found my dad's copy of 5150, and I put it on, and like the first song has like this guitar swell. Yeah, that. And I was like, whoa, I totally have to learn how to do that.
Have you learned how to do that?
Sorta, kinda, I guess.
Not as good as Eddie, but
No,
I'm
but-
like halfway
No,
there.
it's funny. For like the longest time, I didn't learn Van Halen songs because I was always like, it's too hard.
Yeah. Other people can't play those. Only Eddie Van Halen can play those.
Yeah. But that was just the start. From there, I got in, like, my uncle was into Metallica. I got into that. I went through the whole, like, underground thrash metal thing. Hence why, like, Testimony happened. Let's see.
Well, thank goodness for that, because Testimony is wonderful.
Woo!
Yes, Testimony is still awesome. So for me personally, I'm super into, like, Steve Vai,
Fuck yeah.
Joe Satriani.
Satch.
Satch was, like, my god for
What do
a
you-
long time.
What do you think of Chickenfoot?
Chickenfoot? Chickenfoot's pretty cool. I like Chickenfoot.
I think it's not as good as Sammy Hagar and not as good as Joe Satriani.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I'd rather listen to them separately, but I think it's cool that they do it. Sounds like they're having fun.
Yeah, jamming. Oh, man, they are having fun.
I like super groups, though. I
Mhm.
mean, I think it's nice to see two people who can let their egos be pushed aside.
There's
for
more
a
than
minute.
2.
Well,
There's
no, I
Michael
know.
Anthony. Well, Michael Anthony has always had
Right,
his...
but you get the 2 big names, Sammy Hagar and
And
Joe
you get the drummer from the
Satriani,
Red Hot Chili
and
Peppers.
right, and the fact that you can all get them together and not have that ego of who's better than everybody else, and you can play music together and release a CD and enjoy it. That's awesome.
I think it's really interesting seeing Joe Satriani play with other musicians, because I've never seen that. It's always just it's the Joe Satriani show because the guy is a god playing a guitar.
Yeah.
Sorry to go off on that, but continue.
Yeah, somewhere along those lines, I got into Dream Theater, and I think John Petrucci is probably one of the biggest influences on my playing to this day. So that's all like formative stuff for me. I try to get influences from whatever I hear, though.
And you're riding a slippery slope of some greats. You just named off some fucking great guitarists. You got a lot to live up to, son.
Yeah.
Just to let you guys know, stupid Cubs lost. Pretty good day.
Oh,
Thanks,
my goodness.
Greg.
So negative.
Because we're talking about metal music. We needed that interruption in our show. All right. Chucho.
I don't know. It's hard for me to list influences, I guess, like, because it's like, okay, influences as like a writer, influences as a bass player, influences
Yeah.
both. Because me and Martin write pretty much all the stuff for Farwatch other than the vocals and, the drums, obviously. But I guess as far as bass playing goes, well, music in general, I picked up the bass at like 15, and like I was really into like the whole new metal thing that was going on back then.
Spine Shank, Linkin Park.
Yes!
Yeah, all that stuff.
You're
Like
naming the
Disturbed,
goods.
Mudvayne, you know, all that stuff. And then I went to like basically my first metal show, which was Sounds of the
Karma
Underground. Went to Sounds of the Underground. That's when I heard like All That Remains, you know, like Devil Driver.
Is that the year with In Flames and As They Lay Dying?
In Flamen?
Oh no, that's the second. That's the second
That's
year
the
that you're
year
thinking
after
of.
that?
The year I'm thinking of is like Lamb of God was headlining.
Oh.
But yeah, so I heard that and I was like, whoa, like whoa. I basically just wanted my music heavier and faster, and that was a course that continued. I got into, you know, so I got into those bands, and then that quickly led to like death metal, and that quickly led to like grindcore. And then once you hit grindcore, like you can't really go much faster.
Yeah, there's nothing
past
else.
that.
This guy's been around the block.
So then I'm like, I was listening to grindcore, and then I was like, okay, this is really funny, but I watched Lords of Dogtown because I was into skating at the time.
I love that movie.
You would.
Shut
but
up.
there's that scene where Black Flag plays, and I was like, whoa, what's that music? And I looked for that, and that got me into hardcore punk. So I started like a hardcore punk band at that time.
What were you called?
We were called the Rabble Rousers.
The what rousers?
The Rabble Rousers.
Rabble?
Yeah.
With a B?
Rabble.
Yeah.
What's that
Two
mean?
B's?
Two B's.
What's rabble mean?
Rabble is like a general like noise or an uproar of some sort.
I like to rabble.
Rabble.
You know, you watch
like
South
a
Park, and you know, whenever the crowds are there, they're always like rabble, rabble, rabble. You know,
I'm gonna say
there's
that
a
all
bunch
the
of people
time
saying
now.
rabble.
I hope so.
So I
I'm
did
gonna hold
that,
you to that.
and
gonna do it.
that band wasn't really that good. If you want to embarrass me, you can look it up on MySpace probably.
I totally
like,
want
that's back in
MySpace is
MySpace.
still a thing?
Is MySpace still a thing? Like,
It
Yeah.
exists.
Could you even find it
Dude,
on
I
there?
found it. I found
Nice.
it like a couple months ago.
I'm
or
totally
something
gonna
like
look for it now.
And
Don't-
it
please
hasn't.
don't.
It hasn't been deleted. I thought they deleted all the old.
I don't know. Maybe they
Band
did.
ones maybe not. I know personal profiles they had, but I had found mine like 3-4 months ago.
Yeah.
And
you
yours.
you could totally look it up. I think.
What?
And
What?
some poor misguided soul put it on YouTube. It wasn't me.
That's a compliment.
Yeah, no, that's cool. Like that's cool that he likes
Somebody
that
took
stuff.
the time to be like, I'm not in this band, but fuck, put them
Yeah,
on
somebody
YouTube.
put like my stuff on YouTube, and I was like, why? Like, because that's the type of guy I am. Though.
do this?
Like,
Why
I
do
don't
you
know.
like me?
Well, after I finish something, I usually like kind of look back on it with like,
I'm done.
yeah, no, I'm just like looking towards the next thing, you know. So I'm always like, oh, why did I just like pick apart my mistakes and stuff.
But that's how every recording goes. After
Yeah.
you listen to it, you're like, I could have done that, man.
yeah, exactly.
I think you're in the same boat with every musician.
But that,
ever lays
that-
re-
yeah,
recording.
exactly. It's a musician thing.
It's
too,
a
for
musician
sure.
thing.
Creative in general, honestly. So, anyways, I was playing. I pretty much started like I would say I started a band too soon because like I really didn't know how to play, but I just wanted to like be in a band and like. So I started playing, and then I eventually learned how to. Or I was, we were playing out, and then I eventually learned how to play, good enough. As far as like bass influences go, it runs the gamut from like Victor Wooten all the way to like, Marcus Miller. Like it's just like in like bassists in general. Billy Sheehan is a big influence on me with like his 3-finger technique. He's the bassist for like Mr. Big.
Mr. Big.
Yeah, he's like a crazy bassist from like the 80s, like
Shred master.
super shred. But I always like to take concepts from these guys and then try to like input it into like what I was doing with my own stuff, and try to like develop your own style from that. So I always took like ideas and be like, oh yeah, that's like a really cool concept. Let me try to like apply that into my playing. And then from there, I went to college for like a year, came back from that and got into, we had played with Voltress, and that's where I heard Voltress was looking for a bass player, and I was like,
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, dude, those guys are awesome. So I tried out, and then they were like, yeah, you're in. and that they got me into prog. They like started playing me all these prog bands, you know, like Transatlantic, Genesis, Gentle Giant, like that type of stuff.
They're like, listen to Genesis.
Pretty much, yeah.
Perfect.
And so I started doing that, and it's pretty much been prog ever since, because it's such like a open genre, you know. You can really like start putting in anything, you know. It's very
It's
free.
been prog ever since.
For the most part, yeah.
That's a fucking quote right there, and it's been prog ever since. I like it. Well, we got some more tunes. You got a couple of friends or influences that you guys like from the local scene. And we want to play a couple tracks from
That you were also a part of a couple
that
of
you
them.
were
Martin
also
was.
guys part of. What do you guys want to play? We got 3 songs. Why don't we play 2 of them?
Okay.
And then to go out, we'll play the last one.
Yeah,
But,
let's do Testimony and Axios, because that's what Martin actually was in.
and what were those songs called?
The Axios song is called Dead Wings of Destiny. It's a single they just released. I'm actually not on that at all.
But you were in both of those bands
But I was.
at one time.
Yeah, at one time.
At one time. And then what's the Testimony song?
The Testimony song is Spectral Thoughts. It's the opening song, I think, on their new EP, The Beast That Prays.
Rock and roll.
Well, the second song, the first one's the intro track. But
Boom.
Well, let's do it. A twofer for you.
Accused of heinous crimes. Guilty men, what do you plead? It's guilty what you're calling me. Silence in my court. Those who commit treason shall always be condemned. Dead wings of destiny. This sentence hollowing. The shackles of corruption leave me fineless. A sin my fate shall be. Left to see, justice has failed me, dead wings of destiny. Exhibit 1, we present evidence of his heresy against the left nation. Treason might be what you see, but your actions are what's sickening. Objection, I decree, you should talk back, I'll have you run inside this courtroom. Dead wings of destiny, this sentence hollowing. The shackles of corruption leave me fineless. The sin my fate shall be, no future left to see. Justice has failed me, dead wings of destiny. I sit and wait to be dealt by fate for a crime that I did not commit. The cards are stacked against my favor as the gavel hammers out the damning verdict. to die, breaking down from the inside. I feel there's something coming out. The climax of the journey is finally here. Time to face my evil fear. Coming to terms with myself. Breathing slowly, I can tell. Now it is slowly starting to fade. It'll feel just slips away.
And now, back to the metal experience.
Did you say hookers and blow?
No, I said the metal experience.
That's not nearly as good.
Fuck you. Will you wear the blood?
Oh my goodness! I thought we were joking on
No,
that.
I
Woo!
was really gonna do
I am
it.
Luco Blaze over here with my burping Morgan Danielle, and we got.
You know, I'm really disappointed.
I'm trying. I'm sucking it in
Greg
and
Master,
pushing it out.
And we've got Farwatch on with us, and we just heard a couple of songs of actually former bands they have been in.
Just Martin.
Just
Martin.
And we heard some Axios, and we heard some Testimony. What were those two songs we just heard by each band?
The Axios song was Dead Wings of Destiny. It's a single they just released. And the Testimony song was Spectral Thoughts, and you can find that on their EP, The Beast That Prays.
Special thoughts, guys.
Spectral Thoughts.
No, I'm kidding.
But you weren't on either of those tracks, but you
No,
were
I
in the
wasn't.
band formerly.
Yeah, I played on a Transcending Reality EP for Testimony. And I don't think any recordings that I did with Axios exist. Maybe the one single.
Maybe on YouTube. You never
Maybe.
know.
The YouTube.
Well, we're slowly winding down for the evening. It's been almost 2 hours, which is awesome how fast time flew. Thank you guys again for driving out as far as you did to join us tonight. What I was going to ask you is if there's any upcoming shows right now that you have booked. Anything?
Yeah, we have a show December 11th.
Yep, December 11th at Fifth Amendment Pub in Hammond, Indiana.
Woo!
That's with Axios, actually. And a power metal band from Fort Wayne called Zephaniah. They're really awesome.
Nice. And do you know the time that it starts and how much it'll be for admission?
I think it's $6.
Oh, $6, nothing.
That's
don't remember when it starts. I feel like 8 o'clock's a good time, something like that.
8 o'clock's a perfect time for a metal show to start, you know. So that is a Friday night
Yes.
in Hammond,
yes, it is.
Indiana, the Fifth Amendment. That sounds awesome. And then where can people find you guys on the interweb?
We're on Facebook, which we keep pretty regularly updated. You can find us on Twitter. Not much of a Twitter guy, so that doesn't really get updated that much.
It's just
Link
kinda,
it to your
there.
Facebook
But
page.
we do. So it gets updated about as much
There
as
you
our
go.
Facebook, but
That's what I do.
don't be expecting us to like hashtag band breakfast or something like that. It's
Band
not-
breakfast.
You know, it's not gonna happen probably.
Nachos. Just be a picture of nachos.
You can find us on Instagram.
Yes.
Um,
I'm going to do that right now, actually.
Yeah.
She's
so
gonna find the shit
I'm
out of
going
you
to
on
find
Instagram.
your shit.
Usually our Instagram we're posting about like recordings, funny random videos.
Farwatch band.
Weird
Funny to
pictures.
us, at least.
Yeah, funny to us. Probably not to anybody else. We've got a YouTube. We've got like 1 or 2 videos up on there.
Mary has her own too. I see on Instagram.
Oh
huh?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, here's a video of
Actually, we all do. Yeah,
someone playing.
Yeah, it's me playing the Ebo.
Oh,
The Ebo.
Yeah.
What's an Ebo?
Ebo is basically it creates a magnetic field that vibrates the string so that you can play the string forever.
Yeah,
actually.
infinite sustain.
Infinite sustain.
What?
Yeah.
I like how you entitled it "A Boy in a Zebo."
Yeah. That's the kind of thing that we do. It's
Yeah.
just random stuff.
Sassy Mary strikes again.
Yeah. Our YouTube will probably become a little bit more active once we finish the album because we're recording stuff for that, like with the camera, and like, we'll probably have like a documentary or something, and maybe
You just
put out
flick him
some.
off?
I did.
You jerk.
Maybe put
Sorry.
out some playthrough videos and stuff.
Rock and roll.
And then if you want to download our music, it's freely available on Bandcamp, and that's probably where we'll release the album too. So if you want our music, go to our Bandcamp. It's really easy to find. We made sure there's not really any other bands named Farwatch.
Yeah, literally, like,
That's
if
kind
you
of the
type in Farwatch band, like the Bandcamp page is like the first or second thing that comes up.
Yeah. Just type in Farwatch band.
anyone else that.
Yeah. I mean, 4 people are already dead at our hands. because of that.
Nice. That's awesome.
But yeah, so it's really easy to find. That's kind of why we went with Farwatch, honestly, because if you go with like a band name like Mortus or something like that, there's like 50, 60 bands that are
No,
named
it's a
Yeah.
very original name.
Yeah.
Good. Mary found it.
Yeah, good job, Mary.
Mary.
Mary Flo strikes again. I like it.
Well,
And yeah, what were you gonna say?
we got another band you guys want to play. Now no one in this current lineup is featured in this band.
No, but we do want to say this band that we're gonna play is they're called One Way Charlie, and they're looking for a guitarist.
Woo! Guitarist. Where are they out of for people to?
They're based out of Dyer. They're like right in about the same area we're from.
Yeah. We played a couple shows with them. They're really cool guys. They make really awesome music. I'm a big fan. So
One Way Charlie.
yeah.
What an interesting name.
So hold on, before we go off for the night, I do want to make a couple announcements before I forget. I tend to have things slip my mind lately.
Let's do
last
it.
minute, because I haven't been doing local roundup. So this is just a couple quick announcements. One, I haven't been pitching this as I should have been lately.
Oh, come on.
Sorry. I want to give out a shout out to Bob, the printer of Alliance Printing, who has done our stickers and business cards.
Always
He's
an awesome job.
awesome. So if you're looking for good quality stickers, if you're looking for album artwork printed or business cards or anything else printing wise,
And
Bob the printer at Alliance Printing will do all that for you.
And there's a link from our website to
on our
him.
website. We'll post him again on our Facebook.
TheMetalExperience.com.
He's awesome. He's
and
based
his
in Addison.
prices won't murder your wallet.
No, he's really good at giving you quotes. He's very, very good at getting things done in a timely manner.
Very timely.
Within the week, you will have your stuff. It's
Oh, yeah.
fucking awesome. And he's really quick at getting back a file for you to preview. And we'll
just
edit as much as you need to
And
until
just
it's
an
done.
awesome guy to work with.
He is. He's
And I
very,
love
very
him.
good.
Next time I see him, I'm going to kiss him.
I also want to give a shout out.
Greg's gonna kiss him.
And this is going to go part in with Greg. Shout out to Holly and Rob from Chicago Metal Alliance for putting on a spectacular party Saturday night. We had a great time, and Greg was dropped on his head. And I'm so glad you're alive and have
see the
these
mark?
scratch to prove it. Thank God I told you to put ice on it.
So I threw Greg on my shoulders because he weighs all of 80 pounds.
Mind you, there was a
soaking
ton
wet.
of drunk people at this party
was hammered.
Saturday, and
I
Rob
started
and
to
Luca
squat.
were wasted.
I started to do squats with him on my shoulders, and then Rob was
drinking beer.
While drinking beer.
While drinking beer,
And
yeah.
Rob's like, fuck it, I'll do that too. And he goes to do it, and he just drops Greg right on this drum head.
That was in a closet.
hilarious.
No, it was a guitar stand.
No,
was it?
no, you totally missed that, bro. You hit his big drum set. He threw you over the guitar stand. That's why you had the mark, because the guitar stand has padding on it.
You could
around
still get
the
it from that
with
padding.
well,
Ghostbusters
His
theme
is
song. You hear that
ruined.
shit?
no, your guitar you hit
Used to
the
play
drum.
with some cover band.
We had 3 people
Nice.
watch you hit the
Okay.
drum.
Regardless, it was awesome.
You
And
closed
Greg's
your eyes.
still here to
yeah.
live.
So it was
live
a
through it.
great time. There's a lot of people
Thanks
that
for
came
having
out
us
that
out.
we haven't seen in forever. So it was awesome. We have
I won Cards Against Humanity. The 2 games we played, I won one of them. Rock
Yeah.
and roll.
so we did get to take like 3 videos of everybody.
You said tit take.
to take. What did I say?
We
There's-
did tit take.
There's 3 videos
Tit
on our
take.
Facebook page from the
Titaki.
party. Greg trying to do vocals, play drums. Luco trying to play
Actually,
drums.
Greg did play all.
He
Greg,
did some
wonderful.
sick
Just
vocals.
wonderful.
It was awesome.
If
But
any band is looking for a vocalist, hit up Greg.
Greg
Look
Greg
at Greg.
can do some
Greg
awesome
Master.
vocals.
Hit up Greg Master. Fuck yeah.
We'll send you a link. He'll try out for some bands. We'll push him too. It's awesome. So yeah, we just wanted to give a shout out to them. And then next week we are having Cinema Jaw on our show, which is an awesome movie podcast based out in Chicago. So gonna do some cross promoting with them. Talk about maybe some metal soundtracks that are in movies and do things a little bit differently. You know, help promote some other awesome people in the Chicago scene that support another type of entertainment in the industry, but it still goes hand in hand. And they also do their show out of a bar too. They're based in Mothers in Chicago, so they kind of know what a bar atmosphere is like. So
And one of my best friends works
at that bar. That's
At
how
that
we found
bar.
out them. So Cinema Jaw on next week. It's going to be pretty fun. But
And-
thank you,
and-
Farwatch, for coming out.
And
that
once
was
again,
awesome.
Morgan did say tit take.
Guess I did.
I can confirm that for sure happened.
Well, before we go out, also, where can everyone find everything that is Farwatch one more time on the interwebs? Your show is coming up, and we had another announcement for guitar lessons and other type of lessons.
So really, our home base is Facebook, and I'm pretty sure you can get to every single thing that we have as far as social media is concerned from our Facebook.
I ain't afraid no ghosts.
Greg's jamming to Ghostbusters
Yeah, I could
really
see that.
hardcore right now.
He's kind of like the Slimer, so
Slimer!
The Slimer!
the Gregor.
Gregor!
You guys should a metal version of that song. That'd be
There
fucking
already is. It's from Vomitron. Look up Vomitron Ghostbusters.
great.
Done.
I'm gonna do that.
But yeah, if you want to follow us on any sort of social media or keep track of us, just check out our Facebook page. It's got links to all of that. I think our Bandcamp does too. And then if that's got everything. Our email, any way to contact us, you can just message us on Facebook. It's got our Instagram on there, everything. And then do you want to do the announcement for the?
Yeah. Chucho and I both work at HGS Music. We're based in Crown Point, Indiana. We both teach guitar. Chucho also teaches bass and ukulele. If you're interested in learning any of those instruments,
Fuck yeah, dude.
please call over there. Set up some lessons. We'll be more than happy to teach you.
You teach uke?
Yeah.
That's
I
fucking
teach
awesome.
ukulele.
I also am an avid ukulele.
You haven't picked it up in a year.
picked it up in a
Don't kid
while.
yourself.
But I got a bunch of books of tabs to play.
It's a really
that he
fun
hasn't
instrument.
looked at. I
I've
got
been
him
busy.
Elvis and Metallica and what else?
AC/DC.
ECDC.
I've been really busy. I do a lot of things. Sorry.
He used to play
And
it
then
in bed, and then he stopped playing it.
The shows you guys have coming up. One more time.
It's just that show at Fifth Amendment on December 11th. We'll probably be posting about it in the next month or so, constantly on our Facebook page, and that's going to be with our good friends from Axios and Spirit of Revolt.
They're not playing that show.
Are they not?
No.
Uh-oh.
My hopes are dashed.
No,
They're
it's
not.
like Ben was saying the bill's interesting because all the bands have clean
Oh,
vocalists.
yeah, you're right. Okay, I take it back. Martin's correct.
Yes, the other band is a power metal band from Fort Wayne called
Power
Zephaniah.
metal?
And I think there's a band Steel Aggressor. I think they're from Indianapolis. They're also playing the show.
Yeah, so it's going to be an awesome show. I can't wait to
Yeah,
play it.
super pumped.
Fifth Amendment is always a cool place to play. I mean, the show's it's just a really relaxed atmosphere. There's a lot of drinking going on.
Nice. Always a good time.
And it's a tight, kind of intimate space, so we'll be right up
Get
there
physical.
with you guys.
Kisses will be given out on the regs.
I think last time we were there, Mary got hit in the head with like a bottle of water that one of the bands threw. It's really funny.
Yeah,
like,
that was
I don't mean to laugh at you, Mary.
It was like coming straight for me and Martin, and we both like parted ways, and it hit Mary right in the face.
Oh
Yeah,
my
it was
God.
a full water bottle too because I remember getting like wet from it.
Yeah, she threw it back. She's like, "Fuck you, asshole."
Oh, that's always brutal. Well,
Perfect.
thank you again, guys. The guys from Farwatch, check them out. Thank you guys again for driving all the way out here to be on our show. And we're going to go out playing a song by
One Way Charlie.
And what was that song called?
Falling Off the Edge.
Fuck yes. Thank you guys again for coming out and spending the last couple hours with us. Rock on, and we will see you. Who do we have on next week?
Cinema Jaw Podcast.
Boom. We'll see you guys next week. We won't see you, but stuff, you know what I'm talking about. All
Come
right.
out to Fitch's Spare Keys in Elmhurst every Tuesday and hang with us.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah, we'll be waiting. Here.
That wasn't.
You don't want Greg just waiting for you. It's weird.
I think that mic is fucked up. Good thing. That's why we gave it to you.
Maybe
fucker.
we had plenty
Let's
to
do
give
it,
him.
son.